And a crook. I think I left it in the other room. This. Hmm? Alright, let's see how this sounds. Mm-hmm.
ひとひらに願いを乗せて指先から染まる黒よ絶望さえ愛しいほどに死神が微笑んだ 手を伸ばしたら届きそうなの真実だと見えてる偽りに心がエラにさらわれるままに全てを失っていくせめてもう少しだけ終焉の花は血が彩る幻愛に流した命の後で交わした瞳の奥に見つけたたった一つのニコリスの愛永遠にあなたを思
Shit, put this right here. Alright.
終焉のビルシュ
And
Error salvation.
there we go. Oh. That's not supposed to be there yet. Alright, we're starting with this. So hello! Ooh. Cat hair. Anyway, hello everyone, I'm Box Cats. This here. My table's a mess. I'm sorry. My table is a mess. Cat hair. I need to clean up around here a little bit.
ひとひらに
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Anyway, yes, hello. We are back with more, what he said. More Virtue Evermore. We finally made it to the Salvation Routes. It makes me happy. We're finally here. For real this time. For real. Like last time, I thought we were there last time, but we weren't. I didn't realize there was another ending in Adolphe and Ankou's roots. Which I guess makes sense now that I think about it, but whatever. So we'll be doing their salvation ending tonight. And then we'll go on to Mathis, and then we'll go on to Cyan, Lucas, and we'll end with Yadaz. So, that is how we would do it. And as you saw earlier, because I forgot to put it away, do be doing half PNG, half human. Half human.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Just because I'm kind of curious how it'll work. Just for experimental purposes, you know. No. There we go. Put that down. So earlier this week I went to see the eclipse. How many others did? How many got to see it? I hope a bunch of you did. It was very cool. It was a very cool experience. I took some pictures, posted some on social media. I have some on my camera still. I need to get those off.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Oh, and I got a new bag. I bought a Twisted Wonderland Ita bag. I've never had a bag like this before, but I do now. And I have Cyan in there. Everyone will be able to see my husband Cyan when I walk around town in my new bag. I also got a little new standee. Opened that during anime nights. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I guess I have Mathis in. Oh yeah, I have Mathis in there too. Mathis is in there too. Bring them out. Bring them out from their prison.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Their plastic little prison. Maybe I should. After all, Cyan didn't warn us we were doing things the wrong way last time, so maybe it's a good idea to bring them out. Alright. Alright, if he falls again, then we're probably doing something wrong. At least that's how I'm taking it. There we go. Math is back on his little standee. Yeah, I know I'm crazy.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Alright, one more sip of water. So yeah, we've been It's been a good week so far. Hope everyone else has had a good week. From my understanding, it's Siblings Day, so hello, say hi to your siblings, everyone. Or you remember to call them, or I don't know, give them some love. I actually didn't know until my sister called me earlier. And like, oh yeah, Siblings Day, I knew that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
終焉のビルシュエラーサルベーション
Oops. I'm a bad sister. But anyway, let's get this on. I did get us to the place where we need to be for the to get to the salvation route. I hope I did it right. This one you can ignore. I was just I brought my Switch along with me during our trip this past week, and I decided to revisit the common route because I wanted to see what kind of things I could catch. Which I did catch a couple things. It's like, oh, interesting. Okay, so actually I do kind of want to go to the PNG and try that out a little bit because I'm just curious. I'm just curious. So I need to activate this and activate this. Maybe make them a little bigger. I need to change the color of that. I didn't realize it did that. Oops. I guess it's because it's green. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a little box so my character was in a box. I thought that'd be a cute idea. But yeah, let's, at least until we get to the salvation parts, let's try it with the PNG. Just, you know, to see how it works out. And let's see how much the salvation, maybe if we're lucky, we can go through multiple. I don't know how much they are. I don't know, we'll see. Actually, I was thinking of at least maybe doing with the PNG once we get to Yveza's, redoing his route, because I do cut my VODs up so they're actually kept and don't disappear, with the intention of eventually posting them to YouTube. But two of the, or actually even three maybe, of Yveza's routes, I missed out on, they expired before I could cut them up. So it's like, so I might redo that in the PNG format. I honestly don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna lie. It's just an idea though. It's just an idea. I don't know, maybe I won't, maybe I will. Anyway, let's try it like this just for a little bit, and then we can always go back to people. You can always go back to the peoples. Hi. Or even do both. We can even do both. Move this over here a little bit. of regretting putting these here. Oh well. Much too late for that. That's fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. Maybe make them a little bigger. Give that a try, maybe. Alright, so. Alright, I got that. Gonna move this over here. Let's move things around a little bit. Alright, and I need to still test the audio. Alright, so let's do this. Oop, wait, who? There we go. Okay. Oh, let me get the guide up so I can actually know what I'm doing. Alright. Okay. So yeah, save file 5, which will be this if I did it right. Pretty sure I did it right. Yeah, I believe I remember. Laughing at myself because I don't remember. I did this a week ago and I don't remember if I did it or not. My brain. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I went from the beginning of the Lost Salute routes and followed the choices. Made the save files. Yeah, I did because I have the... Yeah, I did. Because I have the proof right here. All the save file places where I'm supposed to make them. As per the guide says. And so, yeah, okay, so I did. So, this should work. This should work. So, let's cross our fingers, hope it works. And get to it. I might change my PNG person too. It's cute, but I don't know if it fits me. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. Right, so... Maybe a turn... Should I turn my voice down? Okay, so we're supposed to say we finally reunited. Reunited and it feels so good. Except for until, you know, all shit goes to hell and, you know, then it doesn't feel as good. So I'm gonna try it without the face cam for the parts we've already done. Just to see how it works with the PNG. I just want to see how it Here's my thingy. Here we go. Alright, there we go. So that's what it would look. This is what it would look like. Honestly, I have no idea how natural this looks or not. And I think the audio level is okay. Alright, so I'm gonna switch over to my headphones. Alright. Got it. Alright, let's get in the zone. Okay, so yes, we made a choice. I think that's the only, yeah, that's the only one we need to make before we get to the salvation. So yeah, after this, after the Adolphe, yeah, it says right here, after the salvation end, it says, congrats, you can now play all the salvation ends for the rest of the routes. So it looks like once you finish the last salutes, the spare endings, in order to get to unlocking all the salvation routes, in addition to collecting all 3 despair endings in the Lost Salute routes, you have to play the salvation end for the Lost Salute route first, before you do any of the other characters' salvation routes, is what I'm getting from this. By that. So yeah, I think that seems to be the order you need to do it. It's just a little confusing, it's a little crazy. But it's good. It's all good. Okay. So. Alright, so let's go. Let's go, let's go. Oh, is that showing? It is showing, okay. That's not supposed to show. Okay, so when I do that, it shows. So that's not, okay. So as long as I don't have my mouse over that, we're good. But can I switch? Yeah, okay. Okay, so as long as I have that in front of the OBS, I can use the number pad to switch between expressions. I just can't have my mouse over the thing. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go. But Ankou, we're finally able to escape together. Need this, of course. I always
大丈
forget.
夫だ姫君。また遅れを取って君を心配させるようなことはしない。
Do not worry, dear princess. I will not fail you and worry you again like before.
この男も少しは成長したようだからね。しばらく預ける分には。
He's growing up! That must be so weird to see yourself grow up. Although it must also be like really like rewarding, maybe? It does seem like he has matured now. Having him look after you should be. You were saying. Suddenly, the entire pastures began to rumble.
なんだ
What the frickin' hell?
揺れ以外にも何か遠くから聞こえて。
I hear something in the distance beyond the rumbling. Just insert an image on of a Attack on Titan here. That's the antagonist, Eren. He's the new antagonist of the game.
ストレス今すぐそいつに捕まれ
Forget donuts,
大量の
it's
水が流れ
Eren.
込んでくるぞ
I just realized. But both Eren and Donut, or Dahut if you wanna be technical, they both decide that the correct answer to their problems is genocide. Interesting. Okay, anyway. I just realized that. I'm like, huh, oh, actually. Cerez, grab onto him, now! Water's gonna come rushing through at any moment. Okay. I went pale at the sudden warning, and quickly reached out to Adolphe. Before I could grasp his hand, Adolphe grabbed my arm and pulled me into his arms so I wouldn't be washed away. From afar, I could hear a heavy roar that I could never imagine was coming from water. We wouldn't be able to escape it. But as long as we were holding on to each other, nothing bad would ever happen. We would never be separated. Knock on wood. Or so I thought. As a shadow swiftly descended upon us, I felt Adolphe's hand leave me. It had been swept away. Uh-huh. Standing between us was Barreau, whose halberd was cut cleanly through Adolphe's wrist. Above us, Adolphe's dismembered hand flew through the air. That's the sound of his hand flying. Adolphe!
おい何をほうけている早くセレスを
He lost his hand. Can someone go grab it for him? Can someone give him a hand? I know, that's bad. Hey, what are you standing around for? Hurry and get Cerez. Ah! Bro took me under his arm and leapt incredibly high. He grabbed one of the cords hanging from the ceiling. Adolphe's hand fell into the water when suddenly a torrent of muddy water came crashing through to sweep the two of them away. The man-made disaster swallowed them whole and carried them off in an instant. Adolphe! Ankou! I reached down from the ceiling, but it was no use. Adolphe, struggling to keep his head above the murky waters, shouted with all his might.
セレスくそなんで
He looks so sad! Damn it, why?
俺はお前を守ることがいつも
Oh, if only he knew how much those words, like, actually meant. Like, Anko's just over there listening beside him being washed away, like, dude. Way to hit the sore spots. Why? Why can't I protect you at all?
ああ、二人一緒に流れちゃうとは。まあでも、彼女がいるなら、きっと、取り戻しに来てくれるよね。
Why did I just think that, like, Donut was thinking, oh, look at them, two sad little sewer rats going through the waters. Why did I think that? They're not sewer rats. But that would be an interesting line for him to say. Were they to have rewritten that, that'd be an interesting line. Ah, look at them being washed away. Well, I'm sure they'll find a way back as long as she's with me.
でも、やっぱりいいな、彼。
Isn't it nice?
あの無力っぷりが、いかにも。
Wow, what a sadist. The way he can't do anything.
普通の人間って感じ。
He's such a normal human. Look, he apparently, like, respects the quote-unquote normal humans, but he sounds very condescending there. An exorcism drives away the demons and evil spirits, but
遠い異国では誓いや言命を表す言葉が元になっているそうよ。
the word itself originated in a faraway country to refer to the administration of an oath. I recalled such knowledge from a friend who was familiar with the languages of the outside world. It was a word that perfectly matched my mission and my beliefs. This time, finally this time, I would build a new place where I could work to save the people by purging death from the country.
死神の呪いから大事なものを守りたいと願う同志は私のもとに集うがいい。
Those who wish to protect their families and friends, come and join me in my work. At first, only a few answered my call. But the numbers slowly grew, and I worked hard to spread the news, finding those who agreed with me. Eventually, the group I gathered became an organization that sought a future made of normal humans.
この人たちとならきっと呪いにも打ち勝つことができるはず。
I'm sure my members and I will find a way to get rid of the curse. I believed it from the bottom of my heart. But to use the word of that lout, I apparently didn't have an eye for people.
あなたの考え方は時代遅れなんですよ。
Your way of thinking is far too outdated.
わざわざ能力に劣る普通の人間に戻りたがる愚か者がこの国のどこにいるというんです？
Do you seriously think the people of this country are foolish enough to become normal humans, lacking in every way? I crush you. The organization I built was quickly stolen, along with the lives of those who agreed with me. Soon, the group became a cult that would do nothing but denounce relivers completely. Don't you hate it when your positive intentions turn into a cult. That's the worst. When your little group of Otome lovers turns into a hardcore cult. It's probably happened. I bet it has. I wouldn't be surprised. Somewhere out there's an Otome cult. Oh my god, what if there is? Again. That man who reconstructed me after finding me washed upon the shore expressed his disappointments. Orthodox means won't do you any good, so you need to change your approach. You may not have any talent as a scientist, but you excel at leading others. Or so he said. I understood it very well. I lacked the power and position of my former self, and had become a hapless existence. Still, no matter what, this was for the sake of my child and my country.
普通の人間としてのあり方をこの手で掴みたかったのよ。
I want to find a way to bring about a normal human life with my own hands. This was my dream and my wish. Sounds like a light strobe. You know, it's amazed me how... Look, I've never cleaned up blood. But from I know from like crime videos and whatnot, blood is hard to clean up. So how did they make this place so clean? You saw in the last the last scene, there was blood everywhere, on everything. So how did they clean this up in like what, 20 minutes? It had to only have taken like 20 minutes for Ceres to have gotten here, right? It just amazes me. I must have been unconscious for some time. A breeze blew across my face, and I awoke to the smell of iron in the laboratory. Okay, so they got the blood away, but the smell, nah, that's still there. Lucas's clone. Barreau brought me back to the laboratory, where the blood on the floor and the walls were wiped clean. In the center of the room was the one who called himself the rightful king. Donuts. Barreau lowered me to the floor, then moved quietly to the door to prevent me from escaping. He didn't speak at all and stood motionlessly like a puppet. It was hard to imagine that the face under that hood was that of my teacher. Speaking of puppets, just before stream, while I was having dinner, I was watching a YouTube video. It was one of those React videos. And on that one, it was about like hypnosis. And the guy who hypnotized the reactors, there was one experiment he did where he hypnotized the participants into thinking that the people they were seated next to was a Sesame Street character. Apparently it worked. But oh my god, that would be so weird. I can't even imagine what that would be like. But that puppet thing, that reminded me of that. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway.
あ、おかえりなさい。女の子を招待するには狭くて暗い場所ですが。
Ah, welcome back. This place is too dark and cramped to invite a girl to, but
どうぞ好きな場所でおくつろぎを。しばらく手を出す予定はありませんから。
Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Don't worry, I don't have any plans for you just yet. Donut must have caused that torrent by releasing the reservoir of water into the underground passage. Even though I glared at him, he spoke to me casually like a friend. Where did that current take Adolphe and Ankou? Donut promptly responded, "The ocean."
排水経路は決まってるので、障害物とかに引っかかってなければ、今頃無傷で放り投げられてる頃かと。
The water follows a set drainage path, so as long as they don't get caught on anything, they should be tossed out relatively safely. I see. I sighed with relief, as it sounded like they wouldn't be pushed into something dangerous location. Adolphe can't swim, but I'm sure he'll be fine with Anko around. I hope. Oh, honey, honey. He can't swim either. That's so sad. Not the not being able to swim part, but the part that... Like, I didn't think of this before. But Anko is Adolphe, and Adolphe is Anko. So if Adolphe can't swim, neither can Anko. But here's Therese thinking they're two different people, so surely one of them's gonna be able to swim, or I guess surely Anko's gotta be able to swim. He's been alive for like, who knows how many years. What was it, 600? I think it was like 600 or something. I don't know if she knows the exact number, but she knows he's been alive for a long time, so she probably assumes that he knows how to swim. But no. Although you'd think he'd learn how to swim in that time, but I mean, trauma might have kept him from learning. All I could do was pray to heaven for their safety. The young man continued to speak as he moved while working the equipment. I was supposed to be his enemy, so I was puzzled as to why he was so unguarded around me when I wasn't even restrained. Can I ask what you're doing?
ああ、やっぱり気になります？うふ。実はこの装置も僕にとってはなかなかの力作でして。
I think to move this along, I might just do what I did, at least until we get to the salvation, where it switches out. Do what I did last time and just do Therese's voice lines. I think I might do that, just to, you know, speed it up a little bit. Perhaps happy that I was inquisitive, Donut turned around and spoke with a cheerful smile, as if a flower had bloomed. The situation made me feel awkward, since his smile made him look no different from before, just a young and innocent boy.
で、ここをこうして、最後にこの機能をポチッと発動させると。
Just press all these buttons and then...
アルペシェール国民を一人残らず殺すための仕掛けが発動するんです。
Voila, the device I prepared to kill every last person in Arpachel is activated. Yay! And that's his tutorial on how to kill everyone. Huh?
言ったでしょ？僕は化け物だらけの国を 滅ぼすものだって。
Suddenly, a thundering sound that heralded the end could be heard throughout Arpachel, roaring from the heart of the country.
What?
Okay, then we're here with Hugo in the earthquake, and the people
おい
screaming,
おい、ただでさえ混乱してるのに勘弁
and
し
the
てくれ
rowdy
よ。
crowd.
これ、あれか地震この国じゃめったに起こる。5年ぶりか。結構強かったし、研究所が崩壊しないといいけど。だな。こっちはまだアドルフたちの状況もつかめてねえんだ。これ以上の面倒事はごめん。
Yeah, you have bigger things to worry about. Well, actually, not bigger. But there's other things to worry about. As Hugo and the corpse talk to each other, the sound of something dry cracking echoed throughout the area. A few meters ahead of them, near the entrance of the Institute, the ground suddenly collapsed with a roar. Each of them looked on in shock, as a number of civilians fell down into the gaping hole.
おい、冗談だろ。
Yeah, the people dying and the screaming and the broken bones. You know, all that jazz. They couldn't see the bottom. Not only was it extremely deep, but the fall must have killed almost most of them. What? But the fall must have killed most of them. They could vaguely hear the sound of people groaning for help.
生存者がいる。誰か詰め所から長くて丈夫な縄持ってこい。
I highly doubt any of these survivors are going to be able to walk. It's not going to be a fun time for them.
いや、持ってきてもこの深さじゃ届かねえだろ。
I can't even imagine living that kind of fall.
だよな。
Actually-
悪い。俺今かなり動転してるわ。
Actually, wouldn't it suck? Like, actually survive. I know this is dark, but like, wouldn't it suck actually surviving that kind of fall? Because you know how much pain you'd be in, right? I feel like that would be worse than dying. I don't know. He then went deep into thoughts until sweat appeared on his head.
警備兵を探して呼んでこい。あいつら全員王族どもに解雇されて暇持て余してんだろ。使えそうな道具のあ。
The corpse members nodded at Hugo's order, and quickly took action when
その必要はありませんよ。自警団の皆さん、今から3秒後に生存者はみんないなくなりますから。
yeah, and then Donut killed them all.
なんだと。
A screen of light appeared. The image was filled with static, but the sound of a boy's voice boomed across the plaza.
それでは皆さんご一緒に。3、2、1。
0. A moment of silence. Soon, from the newly made chasm into which the people fell, the thick, musty smell of iron, blended with the pungent smell of medicine, rose from the gaping hole. Now, I am curious, just what did he do? Hugo immediately became nauseated, and covered his nose and mouth at once. He couldn't hear the sound of groaning anymore. I do wonder what the heck happened. The static on the image disappeared and was replaced by the image of a waterway filled with red blood. In the river, a mass of bodies floated along, their expressions frozen in agony. It was clear they were the same bodies from the crowd that was in front of the corpse earlier. Some fainted from the sights, while others looked away from the horrendous image.
なんだよありゃ。
Like, was it a...
死神の呪いの末期症状。
Oh, okay, yeah. So he just released that gas thing, the toxic fumes of the Death's Curse. And that's what killed them. Little did Hugo know that the image he was seeing was being displayed all across Alberchel. The Claude family basement laboratory was no exception. All devices had been hacked to show the horrific image. Before they could head out to save Adolphe and Therese, Sign and the others saw it and froze. Each one of them stared with a frown. The image changed yet again. Evil mastermind. No, I kind of love this image. It's like you never would have guessed from this character that he would become this. I certainly didn't. I had other guesses. This wasn't it though. At least not toward the end. At least not toward the end. Until toward the end. Oh, I can't speak. But at that point, I was having major copium. It transitioned from the tragedy that just occurred to a young man in a lab coat. The young king of Arpachel that no one knew addressed his subjects for the first time.
ごきげんよう。アルペシェールの愛すべき国民諸君。私はクリスティーヌ女王の第一子リアム・レーブ・ポワール。このアルペシェールを治める本来の王位継承者として私は私欲にて民を虐げるせいで強暮らしに戻ってきた。
I will say, I'm not sad about the previous royal family being extinguished, I guess. Eliminated. There, that's a better word. I'm not mad about that. They were kind of dicks. They were kind of horrible people. But he's really not much better. At the sudden appearance of the self-proclaimed king, the sudden declaration of their former king's punishment confused the people. A recording was then played of the royal family's explanation to Therese, and in moments, the people were enraged by the crimes of the royal family, and welcomed the emergence of the new young king who condemned them. The people quickly united on that front. I like these little structures. I don't know what they call them. Pillars? I don't know, they're pretty. I like the blue and gold. They immediately believed that the new king would revive for laver technology and become their new savior. Now that's an interesting glass... interesting glass pane. The one on the left? I don't think I've ever seen glass like that. Or that kind of pattern. That's... Anyway. I get distracted. Get distracted by the weirdest things. But I never noticed that before. The people cheered him, as if completely forgetting about the deaths from moments ago. The king heard the roar of happiness, and gave a gentle smile that would entrance the soul who laid upon him. That was all that was needed that plunged them into the depths of despair. The people stretched out their arms toward the image of donuts, as if to appeal to his sense of mercy.
そんなのあなた方が嫌いで救う価値がないと思っているからに決まっているじゃないですか。さっきの放送を聞いて皆さん何を思いました？
He's just playing with them.
騙されたと王家に怒る人もいるでしょう。僕の復讐は正当だと言ってくれる心優しい人もいるでしょう。
And what do you think? Is it justified? I think to a certain extent it might be. Because he believes his mother to have been murdered by the royal family. And, you know, they basically did lose their rightful place as a ruler of the country. Or next in line, I guess, in his case. Because, you know, the selfishness and greed of the other members of the royal family, and, you know, it was a bunch of backstabbers. So I'd kind of be angry too, but I'm not sure if that justifies genocide. I don't think it does. I think he's going a little far. Donut looked down for a moment.
皆さんも人事じゃないんですよね。
He quickly looked up, showing the audience how his expression suddenly changed.
呪いの真実を解明し、限りある命に感謝できる普通の人間として生きるべきだ。我が母の教えを覚えている長命のリライバーは果たして何人いるのかな。
It is sad how, his mother's beliefs, and, you know, all the things she preached, and all the people who followed her, and, you know, claimed they were on her side, as soon as she died, just, quote-unquote, died, just, you know, forgot it all. Just, you know, like they never believed it in the first place. That would be frustrating. Donut's gentle smiled, and said that probably none of them remembered. Gently smiled. Yet again, his expression changed, as if it was a different person.
彼女は民の幸福を願い、あんなにも尽くしてくれていたというのに。
After the queen's death was made public, the people did cause a stir for a moment, but within a few months, they had all but forgotten about her existence and her goals. That is sad. That is very sad.
当然ですよね。誰かの死なんてこの国では毎日のように繰り返されているんですから。
he went on to say that, while the people were initially surprised, they probably figured the queen would return as a reliver, which was probably why everyone gave little thought to her memory, as they spent their idle days in waste. He also mentioned the possibility that most weren't interested in the Revapar family to remember them all.
僕は母の存在そのものより彼女が伝え広めようとした信念が誰の心にも残っていないことが悲しい。そして情けない。
The new king looked beyond the screen with scornful eyes.
本当に昔からこの国の人間の性根は変わらない。短命を黙って受け入れ、繰り返される生を当たり前のように享受し、だがいざ命が脅かされれば他者に責任と犠牲を強いる。その生き汚さ。なんておぞましい。
Then his tone of voice and way of speech completely changed to Liam's once again.
リアム・レーブ・ポワールの名のもとに今ここに宣言しよう。死に堕落したお前たちを私はアルペシェール国民として認めない。救わない。私がこれから率いる国の未来にお前らのような異常者たちは一切不要。死を受け入れる者も死に甘える者も死神の代行者として今宵誰一人残さず一斉に処分する。これはお前たち国民への宣戦布告。いや処刑宣告だ。
He's really lost it. Or maybe it was never all there to begin with. Liam then announced that the destruction of the plaza was his doing, and once again showed the tragedy flowing underground.
崩落した先にあるこの水路に流れる水はリコリスノアージュから命がけで抽出した
Yes, so the water is
染
toxic.
色体を汚染する毒素を大量に含み効果を倍増させた薬液だ。
So
それ
yeah,
が今この国の地下全体に張り巡らされている。そこに落下すれば当然一瞬にして染色体が汚染され、今宵深夜0時になった瞬間、国中に仕込んだ爆弾を起動させ、お前たちを私手製の冥界のおでへと叩き落とす。
so basically, in addition to planning to kill them all, he has also poisoned the water. So if they drink water, they would die from an overload of or they would die from the death's curse, which will break down the chromosomes, gradually killing them. Somehow.
これから再興する新たな国には私が作り出した普通の人間だけがいればいい。
Depending on what he means by normal humans that I will create, if he's like creating them artificially, then they're not really normal humans, are they? Which I would assume that's what he means. Because he's planning to kill everyone else in the country. I mean, maybe a few of them will survive somehow. Maybe that's what he's betting on? That a few of them will survive? That, or he's planning to make artificial ones. And labeling them as normal humans. Which they would not be normal.
今この時私の即位を偽りの永遠の命がはびこる時代に終焉を告げる抗う意志がある者だけがもはや替えの利かぬ命をか
Right. So this challenge has been set. Anyone who wants to come after him is free to do so. He's ready to fight. In a secluded area of Arpachel, which would soon collapse into itself, a single woman watched with deathly silence at the new king's bold announcements.
なあマム、今の放送なんかヤバくないか？チビたちも不安がってるしよ。前の時みたいに俺がアドルフたちをこっそり見つけ出してきてやろうか。
ダメよ。これ以上あなたを私の事情に巻き込めない。
I'm trying to remember. Did he do that before? Or is that like some part that wasn't actually in the story, but like happened outside of, you know, what we know of in the story? Or am I forgetting things?
あなたに何かあったら亡きバランド公に顔向けができないわ。
遠慮しないで頼れよ。事情はよくわかんねえけど、死んだ父さんからはあんたを支えろってずっと言われてたんだから。
ありがとう、ミロ。でも本当にいいのよ。いい加減私も表舞台に戻らないといけないわね。
So Salome is about to take some action. Which honestly, she really should have done this before. She's spent way too much time just, you know, playing mother. No offense, I mean, that's great and all. I understand why. I understand how easily it could become, like, you could, like, forget your original goal and, you know, relish in the comforts and security that, you know, her position as a mother to all these children gave her. And, you know, the happiness. I can get how she could, like, get lost in that and... But her original mission was pretty important. So yeah, it's about time she goes and takes some action. I couldn't say a single word as I watched the events that played out before me. After finishing his ruthless speech, Donut turned off the image with a sweet smile.
ああ、すっきりした。ずっとこれが言いたくてうずうずしてたんですよね。あ、お試し崩落の瞬間ちゃんと見てました？被害者の大半は今まであなたを迫害し鬱憤が晴れてだいぶすっきりしたんじゃ。
Of course not. You've gone insane.
狂ってるか。ま、否定はしませんよ。ですがこれは王族としてのけじめでもあるんです。
Donut took a few steps forward and sat in a nearby chair. Duty? He directed me with his eyes to take a seat.
少しお茶を飲みながら話しましょうか。この議題は落ち着いた状態で問答すべきことです。
You're really about to have some tea and biscuits with the psychopath.
さて、もうお察しかと思いますが、
I would
ア
have
ル
been,
ペシエル国民の撲滅こそが
I would have been
僕
worried
の
that the
もう
tea
一
was
つ
like
の目的で
spiked
す。
or like poisoned or
理由
something or had something
わ
in
かりま
it.
す？
Because I mean, you're sitting having tea with an obviously evil person. I mean, like, I don't know, like, he's not a good person. He has bad intentions. But you're really gonna take tea from him? From this kind of person? And drink it without any thoughts? That doesn't seem like a smart idea to me. That's all I'm saying. Donut snapped his fingers and said that I was close.
正解は世界のためです。
Yeah, and then he goes on and on about how were the technology to get out outside of
外こ
Arpichel,
の国の価値
that
観
it
と
could be
技術
very
を
bad for the world
世界
because they would
全体
use
から
it
見
for
れば
evil means, and you know, it just caused chaos. And that because you know, the waters that protected their country from outsiders are now calming down due to like global warming and shit.
何も僕だって
It's now
リ
becoming
ライバー技
easier
術を
for
全
people
否
to
定
come
し
and
てるわ
go,
けじゃないんです。
or for the opportunity,
反対
the
というか、
possibility.
シアンさん
that
は
to happen.
この技術を呪いへ抵抗する時間を稼ぐために作り上げた素晴らしい英断だと思います。彼のその判断がなく
So yeah, it goes on about that.
なので僕はシアンさんを心から尊敬していますし、国を治める者として感謝もしてる。でも繰り返し飽きるほどに言いますが、リライバー技術は神の御業と呼べるほどの本当にすごい発明なんです。なのにそれを生活の一部として受け入れちゃった。いいですか？アドルフさんみたいに生命の創造を禁忌と怖がる人がいん。
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree with him. That's how used to death the people of this country have become is not a good thing. I agree with that. I do agree with that, I will say.
もし遠い未来、鎖国が解除されたり、死の海域のリライバー技術が全世界の倫理観を壊し、命を使い捨てとすることが常識になってしまうかもしれないんです。
Yeah, the devaluing of life. That's become like a norm here. It's not a good thing.
シアンさんが最も
Your
嫌い。
life is important.
リライバーの軍事運用だって行われるかも。
But it's like in a game where you have a respawn point. I guess. Like, yeah, you'll die. But you know, you'll come back. It's, yeah. It's like if you want to jump over off a cliff in the game, go ahead. You'll just come back. Well, if there wasn't a respawn point, you would not jump off a cliff. Like if it was one of those games where you have to start at the very, 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 very beginning if you die. Which I actually kind of hate those. Although in that case, like, you do still revive, I guess. So it's not exactly the best example, but I think I don't know if I'm portraying this correctly. Where was I going with this again? Like, life is important, okay?
もしこれが
It's not
老
healthy
いない体
to
を繰り返すことで
depend on
普通の人間は
your ability
アドルフさんのよ
to
うに
respawn.
未知のものを自分で試したくないという防衛本能が働きますから。他人に気軽におすすめできるほど
Yeah,
大量
so
の
yeah,
全
that's
技術
basically
が
what
外に
he's speaking about here.
本来レーブ・ポワール王家はそれを律し教育しなければならないところを役割を放棄するどころか悪化させた。だから誰かがその責任を取らなく世界を歪ませかねない倫理観を持つ人間たちを世界に解き放たれる前に処分することで母の復活がダハトの念願ならば僕が断じ。
Yeah. And then back with the whole mom thing.
それは僕も残念。
Yeah, this is by saying the oceans that prevented people from entering weren't as perilous as before. So, you know, I guess there was some kind of currents around the country that would, I guess, make ships turn around or either, like, drown them or the current would turn them around away from the island, making it impossible to get to the island. But now that those currents are starting to calm down, again, making, as I said, making it more possible for people to come and go. And therefore for their technology to get out and for the preservation of life to become to get out, to become less important if the outside people were to get hold of the technology. They'd become just like the people here in this country, basically.
なのでまあそこは目をつぶっていただくしかないでしょうね。もしくは命がけでかかってこいと喧嘩を売ったので。期待して待ってすみません。選別する時間はない。あなたに合わせたい人がいるんです。
セレス、どうしてあなたがダハト君のお家に？
Not Nadia! My baby girl! I love her. She's such a sweetie. I never want anything bad to happen to her, so I'm actually glad that Donut saved her. The figure was a delicate, sickly girl, who was like Queen Christine, who sought to live life as a normal human. After being sentenced to death by Liam Weverpoir, the people of Arpachel had become more unstable than ever. Some were in their homes begging for Liam's forgiveness. Others were invading the Institute to reach the castle and kill him. A very few were resorting to building makeshift rafts to cross the ocean. In their final hours, they were finally showing the determination to fight against death.
この隠れ家に決めておいてよかったですね。
ああ、俺たちがここに向かう途中で海に放り出された2人を見つけなかったらどうなってたことか。
アドルフが泳げない。
大の大人2人が無様に溺れている姿はなかなか見ものだったな。
What one was it? Here it is! Yay! Cyan!
あんたは高みの見物を決め込んでたからそんなことが言えるんだよ。
And this dream.
溺れた大人を助けるのってかなり体力使うんだぞ。
I'm trying to look. I'm trying to see the similarities. Like, I've been wondering about the similarities in the poses. If there's actually, like, poses that they do that are, like, the same that I just never realized were. Like, same with Lucas and Bro. Oh, that's something I've been trying to pay attention to as I've been replaying. Okay, the campfire lit in the cave was surrounded by people, most of whom were drenched in seawater. Sitting a bit away from the group was Ankou, who already introduced himself and shared the information he knew. Under normal circumstances, Mathis would be asking him questions out of curiosity, but he too was quiet. It bothered the rest that the two recently rescued men were silent, but...
リアム・レーブポワール。この国に残った最後の王族か。まさかダハトが。
狂気の沙汰としか思えねえ計画だが、まあこの国に抱く不満は俺もなんとなくわかるわ。
僕たち呪いとリライバー技術についてもっと早く考えるべきだったのかもしれませんね。
Should give more thought to the curse and reliable technology. That isn't extremely true. But it was so norm that it makes sense why it is.
今さら後悔しても遅いですけど。
Excuse me. Sneezed.
ダハトはあんたの部下だったんだろ？全く正体に気づかなかったのか？
俺への敵意や悪意があれば即座に気づいた。だがあいつが敵として認識しているのはあくまでこの国そのものだからな。
放置したら一人の例外もなく殺されるっていうなら、まあ乗り込むしか選択肢はねえよな。
Okay, so
セレスの身もいつ危険にね、アドルフ。
alright, so there we go.
アドルフさん？
It seemed through this.
アドルフ？
いや。
He has his arm back. He has two hands now. Again. He...
ダハトに売られた喧嘩を買う上で、俺たちにはクリアすべき3つの課題がある。
First was how to get through the maze-like underground passage to Donut's laboratory. Second was to prepare a fighting team to face his combat-specialized genetic puppets.
そして地下通路内に流れる毒素入りの薬液を無効化する方法だ。
Yes, neutralize the toxins.
まずその3つ目を解決しないと1つ目も2つ目も話し合う意味ないよな。
呪いが効かないアドルフと変異遺伝子を持っ
ジャンが通った時はまだ毒素が流されていなかったんでしょうね。
毒って分かってんならそれを無効化する特効薬とか作れたりしねえのか。あんた天才。
毒素への抗体もないのに無茶を言うな。
Antibodies.
その件については私の力でなんとかなるだろ
Luckily, we have a solution for that here.
お？なんだ。死の番人の力で死んだそばから魂をに
そんな手間のかかる儀式などする。後々私の力を込めた霊薬を君、それを飲めば呪いの進行をある程度防ぐことができる。
Yes. His antibodies will
本当か
help
よ。すげえ、なんでもありなんだ
offset the
な。
speed of the
死の
curse
番人って。
as they tread through the water.
言っておくが完璧には不可能。その毒素とやらが私の力を上回ればたちまち命の危機に瀕するこ
Unless
と
the
には
toxins is
変わり
stronger
な
than
い
its power. Then they're kind of screwed.
それでも構わないのな。
Okay.
十分です。
So they still solve that
どうし
solution.
たんだい？
They can now
いや、
use
特に何も。では霊薬
Adolph's,
とやらの完
Adolph,
成を
well, I
俺
mean,
も楽
he
しみに
is
し
Adolph,
ている
but
ぞ。死の番
Anku's
人。
antibodies to get through the waterway, toxins in the waterway, and get to donuts.
通路の構造、各自通信。
あ、はい。
仕方ない。
じゃああ
Alright,
と
let's go through.
アン君、
I don't really know where
でも
it's
ダハトが用意してる
splits. I'm gonna
あ
assume
の
it's
ブロ
somewhere
せめてこっ
near
ちに。
after Salome appears
その先生
again,
さんは
because I think that's
今ど
where
こ
it
にいるんだ
split
よ。
before, maybe.
未だ行方知れずだ。
不吉なことは言わない方が。
Yeah, they're just
彼
talking
は
about Lucas. Mhm.
ならどっちから。
暗躍。
俺も同意。
んじゃ俺たちと目的は。
ダハトへと続く。
よし、それじゃあ俺とダハトの。いや、俺がイブに。
Okay, then we have the whole bunch of BS about Adolph feeling like he's not good enough to save
ちょ
Cerez
っと
and throwing the duty onto Yves because he feels like Yves
Yeah,
is
nah,
better than
Luigi wa-
him.
違うよ。嫌と
Even
か
though
じゃなくて
Cerez is depending
俺は
on Adolph being
彼
the
女
one to come and
ずっ
save
と君
her.
は
だよ。俺
So I passed that. That actually kind of frustrates me. Dude,
配置。
アドルフ。
you know she's depending on you. But you're still gonna give into your whole, like, your whole belief that you're not good enough and, you know, try to put it on someone else. Which, were he actually to do that, would let her down. Like, it's, I don't know, just makes me a little angry.
女王の教え。ダハト。惚れた。小説。あいつ。
アドルフ。私こそ。
I mean, I get that he's down because he failed.
誰かに襲われる。
But she's waiting for him.
俺は 通セレスとと
アドルフヒューゴ謝罪どうし
けんあいつ
Okay, so ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
何もおまけなら
I mean, I think Yves actually
いやい
is
や
the
そう見
main,
えるように
you know, main guy in the story.
アドルお酒を飲んまさか
At
今
least
さら
that's the impression I always got.
こいつがただ
But baby, this is your route, not his.
リコリそれをけ俺がかじゃあ
聞くなら悪いや
I don't want to go too far, so I'm just doing the click, click,
Okay.
click, click, click button.
俺から
俺と
何
告白の
Actually, no, I will. Okay, not that one. So, is it this one? And then that again to slow it down, right?
同居
Yeah.
あるいは
And then there's the whole thing about how I still love that. How Ankou, the way he disappears magically is he just puts down a smoke bomb and takes flowers out from his like jacket and throws them in the air. And that's how he gives this image of being all like supernatural like when he disappears.
イブさんたちも霊薬が切れた状態でさまよ
わめくなクロードその1とその2この程度の問題想定内だ
Alright, we're watching this part because I love this part.
何も同じ舞台で戦ってやる義理などどこにもないからなクロードその2例の本と
I
お
love
前
the
の家
Claude
に
1
伝わ
and
る
Claude
婚約書は
2.
持ってきている
はいシアンさんに言われて急いで屋敷から持ってきました
But when did he have time to go do that? Unless they were near Mathis's house at the time. Unless the cave is near Mathis's house. Although there was the entrance. I forget, what entrance did they go through? Did they go through Mathis's laboratory house? Mathis's house's laboratory entrance? Or through the laboratory? Actually, I think they went through Mathis's, the entrance in Mathis's house. Yeah, they did. Okay, so yeah, then he would have had time to get, because it would have been just like literally upstairs. They could have went to his house, he could have ran upstairs to grab it, came back down, they could have all gone to the laboratory and gone into the sewers that way. So it would have taken about like a couple minutes. So okay, I figured it out.
こっちがアンクーさんとイブさんが見つけた漂流者の本の原本で
Uncle and you guys found and The book was hidden in Yvez's clothes on the day when Lucas killed and captured Ankou.
こっちが僕の家に伝わる翻訳書になります。
This one here is the translation manual that was passed down through my family.
この原本に書かれている漂流者の故郷の文字、訳せるな。
I expect you to be able to use that to decipher the Drifter's book.
ああ、はい。少しぐらいならなんとか。翻訳書に載っていましたし。
Oh, sure. A little bit, I guess. The characters in the translation manual.
難しいけど面白いですよね。同じ国の言語なのにいろん
My
な
two
種
favorite
類や
characters in
読
one
み方
scene.
があって。
I love it. It's difficult, but it's interesting. It keeps using the same characters, but there are so many ways they can be read.
そうか、すべて訳せるか。さすがは本の虫の家系、実に優秀だな。
I see. So you can translate everything. I knew I could count on the family of bookworms.
違う。僕少しって。
No, wait. I said only a little.
ならクロードその1も当然この文字を訳せるわけだな。
Very well, then have Claude 1 help you translate the rest.
いや、最低限の教育は受けたけど、俺は別にそこまで本好きじゃないし。
Hey, I'm only educated up to a point. I'm not huge on reading.
できるんだな。よ
He's
し。
just completely disregarding it. He's choosing what he wants to hear. I love it. So you can, good.
こんなこともあろうかと小型端末をあと2つ用意しておいた。お前たちに特別に貸してやる。
I thought that would be the case. I prepared two portable terminals. I'll give you special permission to borrow them.
聞けよ、人の話。なあ、俺すげえ嫌な予感がするんだけど。
Listen when people talk. Jeez, I have a bad feeling about this.
これを使って僕たちは何をすれば。
So, what should we do with these? The curious homunculus asked with a growing sense of unease, at which point Cyan responded with a smile like a demon's.
それでは今から
What I want from you now is...
この本の内容をすべて訳し、記されている文字のあらゆる意味と文法も添えて、絶えず俺の端末に送れ。
to translate everything inside that book with notes on technical definitions and use, and send them all to me in real time.
ノルマは1秒につき3文字または1単語以上。1秒の休憩も一瞬の瞬きも許さん。本の虫の家系の意地を見せてみろ。
He's insane. He's insane and I love it. I want at least one word translated per second with no resting in between. Show me what you're made of, bookworms. My poor child, the ultimate test. The device was connected to the intricate passage stretching across Alpachel. Its security was built by Donuts, the former direct ports of Cyan Brofis. Now he was known as Liam Liverpar. However, Donut was busy managing not only that system, but also the series of bombs to be detonated by midnight. The personnel he entrusted regarding the data he developed was hiding in a distant location.
だと私を追放したあの半端者が支援者の正体だったとは。
Damn you, Donuts. The kid who exiled me from the Institute was my supporter all along?
しかも処刑とはなんだ。あんなめちゃくちゃな計画、私は何も聞いていないぞ。
Now he's gonna execute everyone. I've never heard of such a mad plan in my life. The Lycoris princess, along with Nadia and his collection, were all taken hostage. As such, Capuchin had no other choice but to follow Donut's orders. As Donut expected, a certain someone had been attempting to crack his system, but The program that Donut developed was built in a way that it made it easy for Capuchin to prevent the breach.
リュカを捨てたのは失敗だった。奴さえいれば拠点に赴いてナディアたちを奪還できたものを。
It was my fault for getting rid of Lucas. If only I had him. I could just go in and retrieve both Nadia and my collection. He bit his lip with frustration as he continued to think of a way to get back at Donuts when suddenly there was another attempt to crack into the system from the same terminal. Dismayed that his opponent would not give up, Capuchin deployed the defense system to stop him. Suck it, Capuchin. What?
なんだこのめちゃくちゃな言語。見たことも聞いたこともないぞ。
I love this plan. What is this nonsensical language? I've never seen it before. Could it be?
同じシステムプログラムでは処理速度で負けるから。
Using the same program is futile since the speed is faster on my side, but
全く違う言語でシステムそのものをゼロから新たに開発している。
they're actually developing a new system from scratch using a different language? I know they're crazy. Or rather, Lion's crazy. Without any other way to stop the breach, he could only watch as data was extracted, and he was kicked out of the system. I still swear this music is from Area X. Or, I think that's what it's called, Area X? I distinctly remember that do 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 do. This right here, this part right here. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum bum. I distinctly remember that part there. I swear it's from the same thing. Oh, I need to re-download that game. Just to make sure. Anyway. It's killing me not knowing. Without any way to stop the breach, he could only watch as data was extracted and he was kicked out of the system. There was only one person who was able to accomplish such a feat.
Yay! なんだ、組んだのはダハトでも操ってるのは別人。三流のようだな。
What a letdown. Donut may have created the system, but the person moderating it is a third-rate programmer. He didn't know who it was, but he didn't care.
この国の王はあいつでも、この国の技術の王は俺だけだ。
He may be the king of this country, but I'm the king of technology.
さあ、ひざまずけ。
Now kneel before me. That's the best line in the game. That is legit the best line in the game. The system sector managed by Donuts was divided from the rest, so Sign's new program couldn't take control of it, but he was able to locate where the third-rate programmer was. Sign took over the devices that they were moderating, and caused a portion of them to explode using his program.
こんなものか。
That was easy. This programmer had likely been reduced to ashes from the explosion. Yay!
終わった。
バカじゃねえの漂流者の故郷の文字
Curse the stupid language from the Drifter's homeland. You mean Japanese?
Or maybe it's English. No, it's because English doesn't have characters. It's gotta be Japanese. There were 3 types of characters, and each were read differently, with some characters possessing multiple meanings. Jean's head was about to explode from the overload as he yelled in frustration at Cyan's unreasonable demands.
シアンさん、ロザリーさんの遺体の保管場所は分かりましたか？
Have you discovered where they're keeping Rosalie's body?
今送る。
I'll send it now.
少し遠いですね。早く迎えに行ってあげよう。じゃん。
It's pretty far away. Let's go and get her, Jean.
あ、お前も来るのか。
You're coming too?
うん。一人で行ってもカプセルが重くて運べないと思うから。
I love this part too.
それに。
Yeah. I think you'll need help carrying her capsule, and...
女の人がずっとこんな場所に一人でいたなんて寂しいだろうなって。
He's such a sweetie. I just thought it might have been lonely for a girl to be left alone like that for so long.
それにロザリーさんは僕が生まれるきっかけになった人だから。なおさら助けたい。
Rosalie is the very reason I was born. So... I want to help her too.
無事に取り返せたら暖かいところ連れて行ってあげたいね。
Once we find her...
ここちょっと寒いから。
Let's take her someplace warm. It's a little cold in here. As he listened to those words, the image of his beloved Rosalie sleeping in the cold capsule flashed through Jean's mind. He had spent so much time thinking about reviving his beloved with the same memories and appearance as her past. But after Capucine took her away, he finally realized how important it was that he be near Rosalie herself, as she currently was. Now, this artificially made, patchwork ragdoll of a younger brother voiced concerns about how lonely and cold Rosalie must be, with a thoughtfulness for her that even Jean hadn't considered before. Which is why he was frustrated, and...
いた！なんでいきなり叩くの？
Ouch! Why'd you hit me?
俺のロザリーのことを知ったような顔して語るな。出来損ないのホムンクルス。
Don't talk about Rosalie like you knew her, you failed homunculus.
俺のロザリーはな、この程度のことでメソメソ泣いたりしない世界で一番芯の強い女なんだよ。
My Rosalie is the strongest woman in the world. It would never cry over something like this. At the same time, he was proud of him.
ほら、行くぞ。迎えに行く道すがら、ロザリーがどれだけいい女だったか徹底的に教えてやる。
Come on, let's go. I'll tell you everything you need to know so you can really understand how amazing Rosalie is. Okay. An artificially created life. A simple test subject that was created to bring someone else back to life. His life and his memories he thought were his own. His affection for his brother and his hatred for losing him. Every piece of Mathis was a patchwork of memories that were cobbled together from other people. He learned a startling truth recently, and was still coming to terms with his existence. That night, after learning the truth, he shut himself away in his room and cried.
愛しい子。泣くのは大切なお友達を助けてからにしなさい。
Sweethearts, you should save your tears for after you rescue your dear friend.
頑張って。今のあなたならきっと一人で歩ける。
Do your best. I'm sure you can walk on your own now.
だってあなたは
After all,
人一倍強気な私と人一倍前向きな彼の大切な
you are as strong as I am, and as determined as he is. Our dear... He heard a voice in his mind, gently encourage him, and seemed to feel an existence embrace him from behind. Which was why Mathis was able to stand up despite his sorrow, and walk on his own 2 feet. Cyan was now alone and was beginning his final steps in ensuring that the program he hacked into would never be breached.
つまらん。ダハトが相手であれば少しは手応えがあったというのに。
This was boring. I was expecting more of a fight from Donuts.
俺が
I wonder.
呪いへ無意識に逃げの手を打っていなければ、お前のたどる末路も少しは変わったか。
Perhaps my future might have been different if I hadn't subconsciously tried to escape the curse. According to a certain killer.
俺とお前が組めばどんな奇跡だろうが起こせたらしいからな。
Working with Donuts might have led to miracles beyond imagination. I do agree with this. I do highly agree with this. He was very stubborn about the way he wanted to go about things. And even though Donuts had that idea about, artificial, like finding a way to keep motions in relivers, Cyan was intent on doing things his way. He believed that was unnecessary, an unnecessary thing to have, an unnecessary thing to focus on. He was focused on extending the life rather than keeping the emotions. So he was being very stubborn about that. So if he had actually worked with Donuts, they might have been able to do something. They might have been able to do something. They might have been able to improve their technology if they worked together.
ダハトがあの女の息子。確かに比べてみればよく似ている。この厄介なすれ違い。どうしたものか。
I wonder if in this end he will try to, so. Going by this part, I'm gonna assume that Donut lives? Maybe? Hopefully? Who knows? Wait, let's fast forward until we get to, get back to Donut, because that would be where things change, maybe? Where the story changes, maybe? I would hope. Lucas is so pretty, really, for reals. Also, I just realized something. When I was playing the game myself on my way back from my trip, when I was doing the common routes, since I had the earphones in and was like really paying attention to the voices, which not that I'm not doing it now, but it's just I have more ability to focus. I noticed that what I've been calling Yves for so long, but it's pronounced in there, or from what I'm hearing, Yves. So is his name actually Yves? Like Eves, but with a Y? Is that actually how you say his name? Or is that just how it's sounding? How it sounds like? You know, the way it sounds in a different language.
言っておくが、俺はついでに言うと。
But it might be Yves.
お前を死神と責め立てるこの国と国民を何度恨み、もし人質に取られたのが、お前大切な奴らだけを連れて、一か八か。
では、
告白の返。
いや、けど告白。
聞けるわけない、幼なじみ。
え？
俺の見立て。だから お
You
前
have
を
to
止
get
め
the
る。
CG with him, by the glass.
Hi.
Right? Oh, and hello, Love and Pixie. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Hi. Oh, and it's Eve? It is Eve? Okay, so it is pronounced as Eve. Okay, so I've been calling him Yves this whole time. Game's almost over, and I've been calling him Yves.
今の会話全部聞いてたな。俺も告白を
I still find it
全
funny.
面撤回する。
You know, I mentioned this last time.
セレス、
Where his eyes are directed.
俺はお前が
Aww.
好きだ。
This is a cute scene.
だからもう優しい兄ではいてやれない。
That's why I can't act like a kind older brother anymore.
男としてお前を愛したい。
I want to love you as a man.
女としてお前に愛してほしい。
And they want you to love me as a woman. When a man loves a woman. Sorry, that song just came to mind. After a lifetime of doing everything for others, this was the first time Adolphe said something selfish. It was an expression of his greed. Adolphe was using that greed to keep me bound like a curse, so that I wouldn't choose death.
ずっと探していた俺の温かな死に場所は。
I've been looking a long time for a warm place where I can die.
呪いと23の年月を超えた先にある。
Oh, it's the French way of saying it.
数十年後共に添い遂げたお前の隣以外考えられない。
Well, the more you know. See, I only realized that recently when I was playing the game myself and had the headphones in.
セレス、
Yeah, because it's based in like, it has a French type thing, like the law salute. Just that in itself kind of gives it away that it's based in a fictional kind of France-like place. What he said was like a dream to the people of this country, including myself. Yeah, I made it on this little site. You can use you can make your little character and use them for free. And I have all these little expressions. Like I have a hello. This is my basic normal one. I have this for whenever Cyan appears. I have a light stick for vibing. Got this weird one with just a phone. A tray of food. One for if I want to sing. It's not very well done though. And the crying emoji one. The tears. When things get emotional and I need to cry. It is, it's cute. I'm thinking of making another crying one where it's more of sad expression, but it's more of a... I figured this was suitable since we're on the Salvation ending, so more of a happy crying kind of expression. I wanna live. That line reminds me of the One Piece scene with Robin. I want to live as a normal woman, even if it takes years. It wasn't my despair or my sins, but a wish that formed into a teardrop that rolled down my face and disappeared. You see it? It's rolling down the face. Suddenly, a roar heralded the country's collapse.
いつか返事を聞くためにも、お前を殺そうとしているダハトを止めないとな。
I need to stop Donut from killing you, or I'll never hear your reply.
お前の分も殴ってくるから、ここで見てろ。
I'll make sure he gets what's coming to him, so just you watch. Okay. Adolph's expression was stern, and he turned to Donuts, who had been watching the confession.
素敵な告白だった。
That was beautiful. Donut witnessed the second confession without interrupting Adolphe, and was still looking on with admiration.
私も
A little weird to have the third party there witnessing the love confession. But I suppose time isn't exactly on our side, so... You know, I never fell in love like that before.
いつか愛する女性が見つかったら、君のような告白をしてみたい。
But if I ever fell in love with a woman, I want my confession to be like yours. As he gave his heartfelt praise, someone came to stand beside him. Bro? I still don't know if I'm saying that one right, though. Bro. How long had he been there? Lucas. No. It looked like one of his modified clones, but there was something off about him. The man gripped his halberd, and the air became tense.
龍華先生の偽物じゃないな。今度はどこから素材を持ってきた？
That isn't a copy of Lucas, is it? Who did you create him from this time?
あなたもよく知ってる人ですよ。
He's someone you know very well.
僕の母を守れず、責任も取らずに城下に下り、自警団なんかを率いて民を守ってる気になっていた。
After failing to
腕
protect my
力だ
mother,
けが取り柄の元近衛兵。
he left the rail guard without taking responsibility and became the brutish leader of the courts. It can't be.
先代
Boss? That's Lucas and Nadia's father. Yo, what if Nadia actually came out? Because Nadia's technically here, just in a different room. And the man, the Burrow question mark, took his hood off. What if something like that happens? Yeah, the shock. Like that would be kind of evil. Poor little Nadia being, oh my god, father! And then her father just with the halberd just slashing. That would be so sad. But she is conveniently here in this room. Well, not this room, but like this house? It's not a house. This place. Adolph's eyes suddenly opened wide, probably not expecting his former leader to be Lucas's father.
彼の実力は他でもないあなたがよーく知っていますね。
Now, I don't think I need to go into detail about how strong he is, right?
この遺伝子人形に対抗できるのはおそらくリュカさんだけ。
I think
でも
Lucas is the
頼み
only
の
one who
彼
can
は
take on this
毒素
genetically
によって
modified
死にかけ
puppets.
ている。
But he's about to die from toxins. Says that so casually. Donut told Adolphe that he couldn't do anything to stop him now. Adolphe responded by drawing his sword.
残念です。僕は本当にあなたのことをいい友人だと思っていたのに。
Too bad. I really did see you as a good friend.
最後の最後まで理解し合えず、一方的に痛めつけることになるなんて。
It hurts we couldn't reach an understanding, and that I'll end up just bringing you pain in the end.
この後に及んで悪ふざけか。
Stop joking around, will you?
調子に乗るなよ、クソガキ。この人形を倒したら次は散々あいつを苦しめたお前の番だ。
You need to learn some manners, brats. After I beat your puppet into the ground, you'll be next.
見た目が幼いからって加減してもらえると思うなよ。
Don't think I'm gonna go easy on you just because you look young.
わあ怖い。
He's actually older than you,
そういう大
Adolphe.
口は勝利してから叩くものですよ。アドルフさん。
Wow, scary. But you should save your begging for after you beat me, Adolphe. So yeah, even though he looks young, technically Donut is older than Adolphe. A single swing. That was all my former teacher needed to destroy the center of the room. Just destruction everywhere. My only option was to dodge, knowing that just one injury could lead to my death. I want to slow down that part right there and see if I can see his face. Because I feel like you should be able to. Because I know I did see a face. I did see hair there for a second. In that split moment. His strike from above crashed through the floor. Just as I took a step back to avoid it, the puppet sent a kick to my face. His heel grazed my chin, making my head spin. A sweeping kick to my legs followed, but I recognized it from training with him and managed to avoid it instinctively.
扱う武器と体格こそ違うが、この動きは確かに先代。
His size and the weapon he's using are different, but he moves just like the boss. I always thought he was superhuman, but it made sense now that I knew he used to guard the queen. It also explained why his son Lucas was so powerful. Meaning I had no chance against this puppet with my current skills. All I could do now was focus on avoiding the flurry of blows that could lead to my death.
落ち着け。落ち着け。ダートの挑発に乗るな。この男にまともな勝負で勝てる存在は一人しかいない。
I can't let Donut get the better of me. There's only one person who actually stands a chance against this guy. And I knew it wasn't me. Nothing but a miracle would allow me to defeat him. I couldn't entertain the idea of a dramatic victory. I needed to hold back from acting recklessly.
実験器具を盾にすれば少しは躊躇するか。
Maybe I can use the equipment as a shield? I slipped through the crowd of tanks, but my slayman rode through them with precision and brought down his weapon hard.
二度と戦いたくなかった。
I thought I'd never have to fight him again. The attack raised my arm, and blood appeared on top of the fresh cuts. Fortunately, the wound itself wasn't too deep.
待て。それ以上装置の近くで戦うな。向こうから出てくるのを中央で待て。
Wait. Don't go any closer for now. Wait for him to come out. The puppet moved back to the center of the room. Rather than giving his command as part of the battle strategy, it was more likely that Donut didn't want his equipment to be destroyed. I slowly took a few breaths as I hid behind the tanks to come up with a new way to win. I couldn't lose. I needed to do what I could to save her. But I looked at my unarmed right wrist. I didn't want to resort to this, out of courtesy toward a person who only wanted to be human. But at this rate, I was gonna lose. If I lost, Ceres would die. There was no room here for courtesy.
許せとは言わない。
I won't ask you for forgiveness. I firmed my grip on his sword that I couldn't use during all the running, and oof, gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Something wearing Adolph's clothes blocked the sight of the puppets. There was distance between him and Adolph, still hiding amongst the tanks. It was impossible for Adolph to close the distance in such a short time. How could a sword and arm be here? Before trying to understand the situation, the puppet instinctively reacted by slashing the incoming object. It was sliced in two, dropping something onto the floor. Adolph?
腕だけ。
His arms? Imagine cutting your arms off. I couldn't. No, oh, that hurts. It was my right arm, in his revived left arm. I closed in as the vision was blocked, and put my weight into my next move. I gripped my sword with both hands and thrust it into the puppet's stomach. Boop, 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 boop. The puppet groaned from the injury, but didn't fall. Instead, he raised his halberd high into the air for his next attack. But the halberd didn't come down. Another sword appeared from behind me to strike his throat. That'd be kind of a cool action sequence to see, like, animated. It was the man who pretended to be the head of the royal guard, tossed into the center of the laboratory. He gripped the sword as his body continued to regenerate, and pushed it through the puppet's neck. We both drew our swords out of its body, causing it to sway back and forth. The puppet who fought with someone else's strength slowly collapsed into a pool of its own blood.
お前は隙ができるまで生首のまま寝てただけだろ。
Yes, the twins. All you did was act like a decapitated head and wait for your right moment. Yay, they did it. Adolphe, Ankou. Adolphe and Ankou each raised a hand and struck them together as they called their names. Aww. High fives. High fives all around. Donna's like, what the hell? But soon afterward, Adolphe pointed the tip of his sword at the throat of the dumbfounded donuts. Ankou came to the capsule I was in so that he could get me out. Ankou, what happened with Adolphe's arm earlier? I thought Adolphe's right arm had been cut off just before he carried away into the water. He was carried away by the water in the underground passage. But when I saw him return with his hand intact, I thought it was just my imagination. I couldn't understand what happened.
彼はカプシーヌが行った実験で私の細胞を移植され適合したようだからね。
It seems my cells were transferred to his body during Capuchine's experiments.
私とまではいかないが、多少の欠損ぐらいなら再生することが可能になったようだ。
He does not have the same regenerative abilities that I do, but he's able to recover from smaller injuries now. I can't believe it. That meant that Adolphe had some level of immortality similar to Ankou. And then we have an angry donut.
ふざけるな!
It was your fault from the beginning, Donut. You ordered this. You have no right to be mad. Hearing Ankou's explanation, Donut took a step closer to the tip of the sword as he shouted with rage.
裏切ったな、アドルフ！この国でお前だけは
How dare you betray me, Adolphe? You are the only one in this country, too.
傷を死を軽々しく扱わない男だと僕は信じていたのに
A human who understood the gravity of being injured, of dying. I believed in you.
惚れた女の命がかかってる以上
He makes it sound like he's so betrayed, but... Bruh. Since the life of the girl I'm in love with was at stake, I had no other choice.
それと文句ならあいつの細胞を俺に移植したカプシーヌに言え
And Capuchine was the one who messed with my genes. So go and complain to him instead. Oh wait, you can't, he's dead.
勝負はついたんだ早くセレスを解放しろ
We're done now. So release Cerez.
アドルフ、彼が解放を装い、妙な動きをしたらすぐに首をはねるのだよ。
Capuchine's just a pile of dust right now. Adolphe, make sure you sever his head the moment he behaves suspiciously. I agree. Good riddance. Adolphe tightened his grip on the sword and responded with an affirmative. He probably gave up on trying to find a way out of his situation. Donut reluctantly began to navigate through the screen that appeared in front of me. In the next moments, I could hear air blowing out of the capsule. I carefully pushed against the capsule from inside. Suddenly, the capsule let out a sound like glass shattering as it dissipated into the rain of lights.
セレス
Ankou somehow grabbed me just before I tumbled to the floor. Ankou, thank you for coming to save me. And I'm sorry I had you go through so much pain just to save me.
君が謝る必要はない。今回は私よりも体を張った男がいることだしね。
There's no need to apologize. After all, there is another man who has done more this time around. Ankou and I headed toward Adolphe, who still had his sword raised. Adolphe, are you hurt?
もう治った。お前も楽じゃないな。肉体が再生するとき、それなりに痛む。
I'm already healed. Man, you don't have it easy, do you? It hurts to regenerate body parts like this. Well, he doesn't have to worry about little cuts and bruises now. He's just healed those in an instant.
内臓を再生する痛みに比べれば死
Like I
死ぐ
burnt
らい
myself
大し
I
た
was
ことな
cooking
い
the
だろ
other about a week ago. It's only now starting to heal. He'd be able to heal that in just a few seconds. Jealous. Compared to the pain of regenerating internal organs, limbs are nothing. Donut was leaning against one of the tanks, with a floating screen as the two of them continued their usual conversation. His expression didn't show a hint of anger as he displayed earlier.
はあ、母様の遺伝子も取られちゃったし、この戦争は僕の完全敗北かな。
Now that Mother's genes have been taken away from me, this war is a total loss.
ああ、悔しい。肉体再生はほんとずるいと思います。
No fair. Being able to regenerate gave you gave you too much of an advantage. I only noticed now that the screen showed that it was now midnight. The time for the planned mass extinction had arrived. But I didn't feel the ground shaking or the sound of people wailing.
自分から爆破を止めたのか。
You turned off the detonation sequence?
というか、彼女を閉じ込めてたあのカプセルと爆破起動システムをリンクさせてたんですよ。
Actually, the detonation system was linked directly to the capsule she was in. So there you go.
約束は約束ですからね。彼女を救出したら処刑が止まるようにしてたんです。
A promise is a promise. Since you saved her, the execution process was terminated. Adolphe put away his sword, after determining that he no longer needed it. Donuts.
おめでとうございます、セレスさん。あなたのお兄さんではなく、あなたに惚れた男の勝利です。
Congratulations, Ceres. Your brother? No. The man who fell in love with you has won.
煮るなり焼くなりご自由に。うちの親戚みたいに息汚くあがくことはしませんよ。
Feel free to do what you want with me. I won't put up a fight like my disgusting relatives. He kinda did. I don't know if he will here in the Salvation route, but he kinda did in the others. Please don't say that. There's a difference between being selfish and wanting to live life to its fullest. I don't want to take revenge on you or have you die.
同じく。
Same here.
私は彼女の意見が最優先だ。
Her wish is my command.
僕、あなた方に対して結構な仕打ちをしたと思いますけど。
But I did some pretty horrible stuff to you folks, you know? What I said to him wasn't out of kindness or pity, but rather, the crimes you committed are too great for me to judge on my own. Your punishment will be up to the others to decide.
お前が変死事件を起こすことでセレスが自死しかけた件についてはまだ許してねえが。
I still haven't forgiven you for the series of deaths that nearly drove Ceres to suicide. Ouch!
頭に拳3発。
That sounded much. That was not a knuckle.
もし間に合わずにこいつが死んでたら迷わず殺してたけどな。
That was not 3 knuckles to the head. The sound of that was... That was a punch to a wall. Or something. That was not 3 knuckles. I don't know if it was punch, but it was... It was definitely not what they are claiming it to be. That does not make that sound. Three knuckles to the head will do for now. Just know I would have killed you immediately if I came here and found her dead. I do think you should be judged in the court of law, but... now that the royal family who used to pass judgment is gone, except for you? Yes, he would be bleeding so much. Should he be detained and trialed here? I looked at Adolphe and Ankou to silently ask for their opinion. The corpse was made up of civilians, so I wondered if they might represent the people.
ひとまずシアンに預けたらどうだ。
How about we hand him over to Cyan for the time being?
いざとなればあいつが王族の代わりにダードを裁くはずだ。公使を挟まないやつだからな。
He can come up with a fair punishment in the royal family's place. He's the impartial, objective type. I suppose. We decided to contact him and the others to make sure they were safe. Adolphe took out his transmitter from his pockets. Don't let them give any indication of escaping, even as we turned our attention away from him. All he did was gaze blankly at the screens of light floating around him. His mysteriously colored eyes widened as far as they could go. What are you looking...
交際認証って知ってます？
You know what iris recognition is.
二人とも伏せろ。
Duck, both of you! The execution had begun. Okay, so this is still happening. The sound of the ground collapsing and the screams of the people being swallowed by the sludge of Hades resounded from afar.
爪が甘いですね。王の首を取るまで終わらないのが本気の戦争ですよ。
They should have at least tied him up with rope. Or, you know, there is a convenient stretcher with what do you call them? Restraints? Table? I don't know, whatever you call that. But there was a very convenient one lying right there. They could have put him in that while they decided what to do. You know, just for safety. That actually might have been a good idea. Uh-oh, oops. This was too easy. The war isn't over until you behead the king. Why you?
ダート、てめえ
Yeah, he needs to be restrained.
おっと危な。
At least do some old-fashioned rope or something. I don't know, put him in a tank for safekeeping. Donut ducked low and somehow slipped past Adolphe as he tried to knock him onto the floor. As the shock caused me to stagger a few steps away from Ankou, I saw Donut heading straight toward me. He pulled out a knife hidden in his clothes and reached out to claim his hostage. Donuts!
こうなる前に早く僕をさばいてしまえばよかったんですよ。
You should have passed judgment on me if you wanted to avoid this.
さ、こちらに。僕はまだ呪いの解除も母の蘇生も諦めていな。
Now come along. I still haven't given up hope on getting rid of the curse and reviving my mother.
では優しいこの子たちに代わり
Mother is here to
私が
put you
あ
in
なたを裁
timeout.
きましょう
You have been a bad boy. Into the doghouse you go. Mother Salami! Salami actually sounds good. Ooh. Very well. I will pass judgment on behalf of these gentle souls.
それがあなたをずっと迷子にしていた愚かな女王の最後の務めです
It is my final duty as a foolish queen, after having left you alone for so long.
あ
The white arrow was stabbed into Donut's heart from behind, and was painted red with his blood. The knife fell from his hands onto the floor. A few seconds later, Donut fell to his knees. Mother?
いいえ違うわ
I like it better than Salami. I mean, everyone here is going to be named after a food. We got cappuccino for cappuccine, donut for donuts, salami for salame. What do we got for Yves? Who else? The others are kind of difficult, but I'm sure I could think of something. No, you're mistaken.
この声。
Yes. That voice.
私の本当の名はクリス
My real name is
クリスティーヌ・レーブ・ポワール
Christine Weverpar.
かつてアルペシェールを治めていた死に損ないの愚かな女王として
I am the foolish queen who once ruled Arpachel, who missed her opportunity to die.
リアム・レーブ・ポワール多くの婿の民を手にかけ国を滅ぼそうとしたあなたを
Liam Weverpar, you have killed many innocent souls and orchestrated the demise of this country.
女王として私が裁きます
As such, I will judge you as its queen. It was around 60 years ago. The one who saved me after I was thrown into the Lycris field was the partner who worked alongside me to fight the curse, the ally I regarded as an equal, Cyan Brothais.
ほう。しばらく姿を見かけないと思ったらこんなところに捨てられていたが。
Uh-oh. I haven't seen you in some time. I see you managed to get yourself tossed out here.
それだけの傷で生きているとは大した生命力。いや、生への執念だ。
That you're still living despite those wounds is proof of your strength. No, your desire to live. The man spoke without any concern for me as I lay there, awaiting my death.
これから待ち受ける困難や理不尽を覚悟した上で、まだ生きたいと望むのなら。
If you're determined to continue, knowing the hardships you will endure from this point forward, I will save you. He bestowed a miracle with the greatest of ease. Our Lord and Savior. Praise the Cyan Brofeyes. It seemed my uncle and the other relatives who planned my assassination had deleted my backup data, but hidden in the laboratory that Cyan had secretly built, I wandered between life and death. I was able to hold on to life, but now as a reliver with a different appearance to deceive the royal family. Later, I went into hiding in Coin, but I still couldn't give up on my mission to lift the curse. Believing there were others with the same ideas, I established a society of exorcists. But the group I established was taken over by a man with ulterior motives for his own satisfaction, and worse. Those who agreed with me were killed, and I was thrown into the ocean past the Lycris field. Freaking Capuchin. Always gotta ruin everything.
またか。
Freaking Ortiz. Ortiz gum. Again. As sad as it may sound, I was once again saved by Cyan, who revived me with the backup he had stored for me. Around a decade later, seeing how unlucky I was, Cyan made a suggestion that I distance myself from the curse. Instead, I would establish an orphanage and raise children to be introduced to Cyan and assist with his work. Though such a long-term plan was intimidating, since the results could not be guaranteed despite my sustained efforts, I repeatedly revived as a reliver to extend my life and continue doing what I could without fail. Yes, everything I did. All of it was to overthrow the rotten royal family and realize the dream I had envisioned with my son. As I continued to play the part of a mother, I soon found those feelings becoming real. I discovered Adolphe and Therese, both of whom could be keys to breaking the curse once and for all. In the years that followed, I lost all desire to offer my children to him as sacrifices. But...
あの放送があって、リアムという名前が聞こえたときは、本当に驚いた。
During that announcement, I was completely taken by surprise to hear the name Liam.
私が城に置いてきてしまった可愛いあの子は、
My sweet, precious child, who was left behind at the castle.
私のようになぶり殺しにされたって知らされていたから。
He was mercilessly killed, just like I was. At least, that's what I heard.
それがまさか
But by some miracle,
こんな近くで生きていてくれたなんて。
he had lived, and was so close to me. You know, it's kind of crazy. I believe in I forget what route it was. It was probably Cyan's route. But Donut actually arrived at the orphanage and saw Salome face to face. At that point, they literally were so close, but they didn't know who each other was. I swear that happened. Mother was drenched in blood, but she crouched down and embraced Donut with all her might. Yes, so close yet so far. Mother. She was the Queen Christine Donut had longed for, and spent all these years trying to bring back to life? Hello, Troa Barton. No, I have not seen that one. I did not know that was an anime. If she had actually been alive all along, having revived as a reliver in secret? Oh, I'll have to check the description out for that one. All of the sacrifices from Donut's experiments and research?
すべて無駄だったということになるね。
All those lives were lost in vain. Damn, all that death. For nothing. Donut finally raised his head as he lay in Mother's arms.
あなたが僕の母様。どうしてそんな全然違う姿に。
You are my mother? But why? You don't look like her.
姿の異なるリライバーの作成。
A reliver with a different appearance.
あんな研究をどうしてシアンさんが開発したのか疑問だったけど。
I was wondering why Cyan developed it, only to use it once.
あなたをかくまうために。
It was all for you. Mother nodded as tears rolled down her cheeks.
ごめんなさい、リアム。あなたはこんな姿になるまで
This is so sad,
私を
really.
探してくれていたのに。
I'm sorry, Liam. You were looking for me for so long and went through so much.
すぐに見つけてあげられなくてごめんなさい。
I'm sorry I couldn't find you sooner. I'm so sorry.
記憶の欠損のせいであなたの顔をどうしても思い出せなくなってしまったの。
Because of my memory loss, I can no longer remember your precious face.
ああ、それで
I see.
ずっと求めていた遺伝子がこんな近くにあったなんて。
This whole time, the genes I was looking for were so close to me. Stop saying genes! You sound like Capuchin! It freaks me out! In all these years that Cyan and Mother knew each other,
定期的なバックアップのために手紙のやり取りをしてたのか。
that's why they kept exchanging letters. So she could keep getting her backups done.
ほんとどこまでも食えないですよね。あの人は。
Seriously. He knows how to work around every situation. Donut held Mother with what little strength remained in his arms.
大変だったんですね。 たくさん殺されて、その度にまたリライバーになりよみがえって。
It must have been so hard. Killed so many times, each time reviving as a reliver.
もっと早く僕があなたを見つけることが。
If only I had been able to find you much sooner. Donut's voice was filled with sorrow.
そんなにたくさんリライバーになったなら、僕への愛なんて忘れちゃいましたよね。
Of course, you've already forgotten your love for me now that you're a reliver, right?
今のあなたにとっての僕は許されない罪を犯した。ただの自分が裁くべき大罪に。
To you, I'm only a criminal who has committed unforgivable sins. A person to be judged.
そんなことはない。あなたは間違いなく私の可愛い息子リアムよ。
That's not true. You will always be my adorable beloved son, Liam.
あなたへの感情は確かに薄れてしまったけれど、記憶がそうだって叫んでる。
More and more of my emotions are lost with each revival. But the memory in my heart remains.
だから今ここで一度死んでリライバーとしてまた生まれ変わりましょう。
Now, why don't you go to sleep? And when you wake up, you'll be a reliver again.
あなたの犯した罪は決して許されるものじゃないけれど、
The sins you committed cannot be forgiven, but
母様が一緒に背負ってあげる。またこれからいくらでも
Mother will take on those sins for you.
愛せるわ。
From now on, I'll be able to give you all the love in the world. Hearing her words, Donut smiled.
でも
Oh god, here we go again. Why can you not be happy that your mother is alive?
結局あなたはこそこそ隠れていただけで、いつの間にかリライバーの利便性に溺れ、呪いを研究しなくなっていたんでしょ。
You were just hiding in secret all along. The convenience of becoming a reliver stopped you from researching the curse.
裁かれるのはそちらの方だ。お前のような気軽に死んで生き返る女は
He is a complicated man.
僕が求めていた母様じゃない。
Child, can you never be satisfied? You're the one be judged. A woman who dies and revives so easily isn't the mother I've been looking for all these years. Sometimes you just have to settle and be happy that someone's alive. You can't have everything.
一度死んでなんて言葉、あの人は間違っても使うものか。
You said I should die and revive again. She would never say that. With that, Donut took his last breath before dying in Mother's arms. But
そう、僕が敬愛した女王はたった今この国の死に毒され死んだ。
yes, the beloved queen I looked up to was poisoned by the curse of this country.
己が信念を忘れ、民を利する使命を放棄し、のうのうと国を放置した罰として。
She forgot her resolve and turned her back on her mission to save the people, leaving things in the hands of fools.
シスター・サロメ、お前の罪も僕が裁こう。
Sister Salome, I will pass judgment on you as well. Okay, so this is still happening too. All right. A red flower bloomed from Mother's throat. Behind me, a single figure burst out from one of the culture tanks. Another donut stabbed her throat with a sharp knife as she held the other donut in her arms.
Maru!
Again, originally I was so confused here because of Ankou calling her mother. I thought he just got caught up in the moment and ended up calling her mother. I mean, it wouldn't be too abnormal. Everyone's like accidentally called like someone like mother before, or like or like at the end of a phone conversation said, "Okay, bye, I love you." Or then something like that, just out of, you know, pure like just, you know, habit or whatever. So I originally thought that's what happened there. Mother collapsed to the floor and was still. It would have been so funny and awkward. Before I could even feel sorrow, the new donut grabbed my hand as I rushed forward with the other two.
すみませんね。僕も大概息汚いみたいだ。
I'm so sorry. Guess I'm living a filthy life too.
正真正銘。これが最後の悪あがき。信念を捨てた女王と僕を打ち破った宿敵への嫌がらせを兼ねた。
This is really my last resort. My way of causing trouble to the nemesis who beat me and the queen who forgot her mission. The clone quickly tossed me into one of the tanks with the open door. The door closed, and Donut quickly began to activate the screen and tap against it. They both came running toward me, and Adolphe punched Donuts, who was putting up a fight. Ankou was trying his best to open the door, but it was to no use.
何のつもりだダード。女王、マムが見つかったのならセレスを実験に巻き込む理由はねえだろ。
I have no idea how they're gonna salvage this. What are you doing, Donut? There's no need to drag Ceres into your mess if you already found the queen, Mother.
今すぐ装置を停止してこいつを解放しろ。
Unlock this tank and let her out right now.
無理です、無理無理。
No, no can do, not a chance. Donut laughed madly as Adolphe grabbed him by the collar.
処理が終わるまでは完全ロックと設定しておきましたから。
I've set it to be fully locked until the process is complete.
処理の最中に下手に装置をいじったり蓋を破壊したりなんかしたら瞬く間に彼女が死んじゃいますよ。
Be careful, because she'll die if you try to fix it with the settings or force the tank open.
自分でも投薬以外
He's really playing the part of the evil mastermind very
わか
well.
らないのでおとなしく結果を見届けるしかありません。
And I guess he is an evil stepbrother since he's a mother's biological child. That never really connected, being a stepbrother. Dang. I added some chemicals, but I'm not sure what the results would be either. Looks like we're gonna have to wait and see. Suddenly, the tank filled with a strange liquid that I could breathe in. The temperature of the liquid suddenly rose. I could hear voices calling my name from outside the tank, and I was in no state to respond. My eyes, my ears, my mouth, and even the pores of my skin were absorbing the liquid. The power of the Lycris Neorges that slept in my body slowly mutated into a different flower. Ah! The pain made my throat burn. It hurts! It's so hot! What's happening? My genes, my cells, my body was being tainted with something heavy like mud. Slowly, I heard the familiar sound of burning skin. I don't want to know what that sounds like. Ah! With a scream, I became a completely new existence. I became a rose. It probably won't be much better. The tank broke, and I collapsed onto the floor with liquid. I was in so much pain, I couldn't even faint. When I realized that I was still alive, I put a hand to my chest in relief.
セレス。
その姿は。
What is going on? I could hear Adolphe and Ankou's confused voices. Huh? The first thing I saw when I was freed from the undeniable pain was... No. What is this? My skin had taken on the color of the Lycris Neorges, as if they bloomed all over my body. Ugh! Suddenly, sharp pain surged through my chest, making me double over. Before Cereza's genes mutated, Donut, fix this right now! Adolphe once again grabbed Donut by the collar, but this time slammed him hard against the tank.
何がどうなっている？こいつに一体何をした？この姿は一体。
What the hell's going on? What did you do to her? Donut choked from the immense pressure as he opened a screen of lights. He confirmed the results of the random inputs he made earlier.
Wow! すごい!
Don't you look so happy? You did a horrible thing. Stop looking so proud of yourself. Wow, amazing. Looks like her rare genes have become even more rare.
今までどちらかというと毒素の排出に特化していたのが
Her body used to emit toxins into the air before, but
反転し空中に気化している毒素を今までの数十倍以上の勢いで吸い込んでるっぽいですよ。
It looks like her traits reversed, and now she's absorbing all the toxins from the air at an alarming rate.
なんだと？
Yes, and the stars on the textbook. You are not a good boy. Only good boys get to put stars on their text boxes. You did not deserve the star. You are not a good star student. Donut's response was innocent but cruel. Hearing Donut respond as if he had just found a new toy, Adolphe and Ankou's expressions immediately changed. Cereza's physical traits allowed her to tolerate trace amounts of the toxins in her body. It didn't mean she was impervious to the curse. The fact she was now absorbing an incredible amount of toxins meant
私の血で特効薬を作れ
use my blood to make an antidote. As Adolphe came to the worst possible conclusion, Ankou quickly closed in on Donuts.
はい
Excuse me?
呪いこの毒素に有効な特効薬だ
The curse! Make an antidote to fight the toxins!
アンク
An antidote to fight death's curse. Adolphe's questioning gaze was of no concern to Ankou.
私はそれを作るため数百年毒素を溜め込んだリコリスノワージュを摂取し続けてきたんだ
This is the very reason I've been consuming these toxic Lacquerous Neorges for hundreds of years.
だから私の肉体には抗体ができているはず
My body should have the proper antibodies to fight the curse.
完璧ではなくてもそれに近い状態で
It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work.
抗体があれば何でもできるってわけじゃん特効薬にも作り方があるわけで
But antibodies alone won't do much now. There are steps that need to be taken, and
私が知っている私が教える
I know how to make it. I'll show you.
この男が真実にたどり着いたことでようやく全てを語れるようになったんだ
Now that he's discovered the truth, I can finally talk about everything. Both his crimson eyes and Donut's curious ones turned to Adolphe. Before he could say anything,
抗体から特効薬さえ作れればこいつが溜め込んだ毒素そのものを無効化できるんだろう
we can nullify the toxin stored in her body if we can create the antidote using my antibodies. Ankou was finally able to explain the method through which he planned on turning her into a normal human. No, it hurts to see him this way. Put the tears on. That's number 8. Donut responded in a dismayed manner.
それならわざわざ彼女の能力に頼らなくても呪い自体を無効化できたんですね
So we never had to rely on her in order to nullify the curse. Adolphe didn't really understand what was going on, but he did know that she had to suffer for the time being until they could create the antidote using Ankou's blood. Once done, the unusual mutation would disappear, and Ceres would be saved. It would also lead the way to bringing about complete end to the curse. Ceres also heard what was being discussed, and they began to feel hope again. The same hope that was in Ankou's hearts.
でも
But
今から作ったってもう効きませんよ
it won't work, even if we make one.
は
But their hopes were completely dashed.
だって彼女の変異した遺伝子が取り込んだ毒素を体内で別物に変換しちゃいましたもん
I mean, her genes mutated and are now altering the airborne toxins into some other toxin that's poisoning her. Which is why using Ankou's antibodies wouldn't make any difference. They were only able to fight the toxins from the soil. They would have no effect on the new toxins forming inside her.
新たな抗体を作り直したいなら彼女の血肉を丸ごと食べるぐらいのことはしないと
If we want an effective antidote, you'll need to do something along the lines of consuming her flesh and blood.
なら
If so, the salvation end isn't gonna be him like eating her finger and somehow creating an antibody to save her and
このまま何もできなければこいつはどうなる
what will happen to her if she is left alone like this?
見ての通り 変換した毒素に肌ごと全身を汚染され、
As you can see, her body would be fully tainted by the altered toxins in her body, and Ankou wanted to stop him from saying more. His heart cried out silently, hoping there was no hope left, knowing there was no hope left. The licorice pattern on her skin was proof that the toxins were consuming her body. It won't, okay. I didn't know if we were pulling a JJK or not, but... Her organs were soon shut down. In the end, there would be nothing left of her. Her body would be burned through with the licorice pattern.
この世で最も無残な姿になって死にますよ。
So yeah, she's gonna die a gruesome and horrible death. Star. A death sentence with no salvation. The two of them finally realized the truth they wanted to deny, and fell to their knees next to Ceres. It was all right. Nothing worse could happen. Oh my god, why did you say that? Never say nothing worse could happen, or... You're just asking for trouble. You're just asking for trouble. Why did you say that? You fools. You fools. Just as they try to find a silver lining, from below their eyes, the sound of despair growled. Wow. She's turning into a werewolf. Suddenly, Ceres groaned with pain, and Adolphe quickly moved to support her. The mark of the licorice was blooming across Ceres' skin. The tainting from the inside out could not be stopped. Her heartbeat seemed to shake the air. The image of the flower that Ankou's ally and Adolphe's friend had worked to protect bloomed proudly across her body as proof of the altered toxins consuming her body.
セレスダメだ、腕をかきむしるんじゃない。傷口からも毒素が吸い込まれる。
No, don't scratch your arm. You absorb more toxins from the wound. Ceres cried out desperately for help. A new licorice bloomed on top of her tongue and inside her mouth. Ow. Looks so sad! Adolphe was stunned by the alarming speed of the contamination.
どけ、今すぐ私の血を。
Move! Let me give her my blood!
頼む。
Do it! It does. Just the way his eyes look. Like he looks like he's gonna cry at any moment. And Ankou just looks completely distraught. Ankou picked up the arrow from the floor and pierced his arm without hesitation. He dripped his blood into her open mouth, but
本当に効かないのか。
it isn't working.
違う、効かないなんてことはありえない。全部そいつのデタラメだ。
No. It has to work. He's just lying to us.
量、そうだ。今はまだ量が足りないだけで。
More. That's right. She needs more of my blood.
もっと大量に血を、抗体を飲ませれば。
Much more. She needs to take in my antibodies.
大丈夫だ。きっと助かる。
It'll be fine. I'm sure we can save her.
助かるはずなんだ。
She has to be saved.
絶対に。
She has to. She has to.
俺はずっと
All this time.
そのために生き延びてきたのだから。
This is the very reason I stayed alive all this time.
Sis. ほら、お前のために用意した抗体だぞ。
Here. Antibodies I prepared for your sake.
なのに、なんで
So why? It didn't stop. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Only seconds had passed. Ceres's entire body was consumed by the mutated Lycoris. She was hardly breathing now, and her body twitched with spasms until she lay as motionless as a corpse. She couldn't be saved. She was in such terrible states that everyone knew what fate awaited her here.
リコリスのお姫様らしい綺麗な死に様ですね。きっと彼女も喜んでますよ。
A beautiful death befitting of the Lycoris princess. I'm sure she's happy right now. Donut. Why the fuck would she be happy right now? She's in fucking pain. You try having Lycorises grow over your body and toxins inside and out. Yes, deranged little shit. Why, you? Alright, race to see who can kill Donut the fastest. Go! And the winner is... Before Ankou could move, Adolphe drew out his sword and decapitated Donuts. The winner's Adolphe! Yay! A rain of blood fell from the sky, and his head slowly rolled next to Salome, as if reaching out to her.
アドルフ、お前。
Adolphe, you.
目的は達した。シアンと合流する。
Mission accomplished. Let's meet up with Cyan.
あいつなら治療こそできなくてもセレスをこの世に留める方法を編み出せるはずだ。
Even if he can't fully heal Ceres, I'm sure he'll be able to figure out a way to get her through this alive.
わかった。では、シスター・サロメは私が背負おう。
Understood. I'll carry my sister Salami on my back. It didn't matter if the citizens were screaming in despair. They decided to leave Nadia in the hands of Yves and the others who would probably come here once the toxins thinned. They carried Ceres, limp as a doll, and Salami, who is now dead, out of the laboratory. Their eyes were not tainted by resignation yet. Yes, even if... Okay, so yeah, this...
ソラ、セレス。
I don't know what I did wrong.
もう何今日からこのベッドの上がお前の居場所だ。
Yes, and they let her live as a... This is the eternal pain ending or whatever. Even if Ceres herself had already given up hope to live. Ceres received medical attention from Zion. The two of them ignored the chaos in the country and brought her back home as she struggled to breathe. Yeah, the threesome ending. Not the most satisfying threesome ending. How'd we even get here? I followed all the directions. Unless I have to start a new game, go through the common routes, and do the correct things, and go through all over from the beginning. We might have to try that.
俺たちが懸命に看病していれば
私も冥界には戻らずずっ
Hearing the voices, Ceres twitched as more lifeless marks appeared across her skin.
君が生きてくれて
Thank
よかっ
goodness you're
た
alive.
もう大事な君が生きてさえいてくれれば
Matters
ど
not
ん
what
な
form you
姿
take,
だろうが構わない
so long as you remain alive. That is just mean. Ankou, that's just kind of cruel.
今度こそ何があっても死なせはしない。
This time, I promise I won't let you die. They both lost it. They both lost it. Seeing the two in a trance beside her, she opened her mouth and tried to speak with her tongue now blooming with licorice marks. Hurts. Pain. Please kill me. She pleaded to them, but...
ダメだ。惚れた女を殺せる男がどこにいるんだよ。
Okay, I'll try that. No real man would kill the woman he loves.
告白した時、俺はこう言ったよな。
Yeah, that you won't let us die. And it manifested in the worst possible way.
ずっと探していた。俺の温かな死に場所は呪いと23の年月を超えた先にある。数十年後。
That you
共
won't let
に
us
添い遂
go.
げたお前の隣以外考えシワだらけになった俺を見とる。俺だけの死神であってくれ。セレス。
Okay. We'll try it that way then.
と。
His wish would now become reality. Not in the form of a promise, but as a curse.
そうだねその約束を君が果たすためにも
He's right, and in order for you to fulfill that promise,
呪いと23の年月を超えた先にある
you must
数
become this
十
place for
年
him.
後
Beyond the curse, beyond 23 years.
シワだらけになった俺を見とるまでどれだけ苦しくても
No matter how much we suffer, I want you to see me grow old and gray. What about us? How about what we feel? Do you ever think about that? What about what we want?
絶対に死なせず俺たちが守ってやるからな。
We'll protect you together and make sure you never die. It was a curse that kept her with them forever. One that promised her a life of endless suffering. You guys suck in that ending. Alright, let's give this a shot. Yes, same name as before. No salutes. Get the guide up.